Hi guys, welcome to the Youth Hub. So today I'm going to show you how to create the best CV. So I know a lot of you are struggling at the moment and you might be out of work or you might be currently in work but still looking for another job. So I'm going to show you how to create the best CV. So let me just jump right into it. Okay, so the first thing is that you have to make sure that your CV stands out from top to bottom. So the average employer will spend about 5 to 7 seconds looking at your CV. So you have to make sure that the top part is totally matched with the job description. So I'm going to show you how. So if you look at the screen above, you will see that it's very important that the top of the CV matches the job description that is provided and that you show that you can add value to their company. So for example, they might ask you questions on the job application and they might say that, they're looking for somebody that's local. They might say that you need to have great presentation skills, great IT skills, etc., etc. So I'm going to get back into that in a moment. Anyone can say that they're hardworking and have great customer service skills, but what makes you stand out from the crowd? Top tips. Okay, so if we look above, I've just put up the top tips. So make sure that all of the essentials within the job description is mentioned within the overview and the skills section of your CV. So the top part of your CV will have your name, address, and it will also have your email, etc., contact details. But underneath, you will have like a overview. Now, the overview should be a short description of what you can offer to the employer. So the best thing to do would be to make sure that you match your overview with the job description. And I'm going to get into that in a moment as well. The skills section as well, it will be underneath your skills and attributes. Now, the skills and attributes should be matched as well with the job description. So like I mentioned earlier, if if they want somebody with great IT skills, they might want somebody who has great, communication skills, or somebody who's able to use IT applications such as Sage, etc. So you need to make sure that you come across that you know exactly what the job entails and that you're capable of doing the job. So making sure that you have that at the start of the CV will then let the employer and recruiter think, okay, this person might be suitable, and then they'll continue reading. I've worked in recruitment myself and I understand that you get hundreds of CVs. So you have to make sure that you stand out from the crowd. So by doing this, it will make the employer and recruiter think, okay, I'm going to continue reading the CV. This person seems to have a lot of the attributes that we're looking for. So make sure you stand out from the crowd. Okay, so if you look above, I've just put up a job description. So here's an example of a job description for somebody applying for a children's services manager role in Hampton, London. They will be reporting to the CEO. They'll be working 28 hours per week, Monday to Thursday. The salary is 37 to 40,000. So the purpose of this role is to be responsible for the leadership and management of the children's services team. This will ensure the charity services are relevant, high quality and effective in meeting the needs of vulnerable children and young people. Okay, so now if you look at the specification now, I'll just put that above. It says that they're looking for someone who's local, somebody who be able to get to work with few transport links. Now, and by looking at this job specification, they're looking for somebody who's local. Now, it's an essential requirement. It's not desirable. So I'm guessing that where this place is, Hampton, it might be very difficult to use the underground. There might not be many train, links available. So they're probably looking for someone local who can drive. Now, I was applying for this job. I would make sure that I actually put Hampton. A lot of people, they'll just put London. Now, that might throw them off and think, well, where in London? So always put the actual location of the job if they're looking for someone that is local. It's so important, and a lot of CVs will get brushed aside if you don't put the exact location of where they want you to be. Now, of course, if you don't live in Hampton, you shouldn't put Hampton because they will find this out later on down the line. But if you do live local, still put that area because they will know the surrounding areas. So, for example, I believe Hampton is quite near to Brentford, Isleworth, and areas like that nearby. So that is very, very important. Okay, so above you will see the overview. of an enthusiastic individual with over 5 years experience of working in the children's services within busy office environments within the educational and care sectors. So as you can see here, he has like well over 10 keywords in just the first line of his CV. He's got over 5 years experience, and he's works in the children's services sector, which is another requirement, as you can see I've put above, and also in the education and cares sector, which you can see in the person specification. So it's very, very important to make sure that you put your keywords in. And just in the first line, you can see he's put well over 12 words, which is really, really good. Then the next line, it says he's highly motivated, proactive, and uses his initiative, which you can see above is what the requirements are for this job. So you can see when they're searching these keywords, they might even search, 5 years experience of children's services. So they actually might search that, and then it might actually bring up your CV. And you can imagine if you've got so many keywords within the first part of your CV is most likely going to be at the top of the pile. So it's very, very important that you put these keywords in. And then of course here it says as well, he's currently looking for a local role, which again is a very good keyword because they are looking for someone that's local. He's also put Hampton at the top of his CV, not London, because that straight away they'll be thinking, oh wow, he's local, and that will get them intrigued to look at your CV even more. If they look at your CV and they see London, it might throw them off. They might still think, well, he might be in Hampton, but I'm not sure. And then they're so busy, they might see someone else that CV says Hampton, so they might not call you first, might call the other person, and then you might lose out on an interview. So he's put Hampton, and he's also put in the overview that he's looking for a local role. So that then states to them, okay, that is someone that has potential to work for us or possibly get an interview. It also says the children's services, he's looking for a local role as a children's services manager where he can utilize his existing management skills, which will create and maintain quality internal and external relationships with stakeholders and gain new skills for continuous improvement and progression. So there again, it's, management skills is another key word. He's looking for, a role where he can create and maintain great relationships with stakeholders, which is another essential, which is above, as you can see. So there alone in the overview, there's tons of keywords, and that should help you get your CV up to scratch. So underneath will be the skills and attributes section. And as you can see here, they're looking for someone with excellent organizational and time management skills. They're looking for someone who's highly motivated, proactive, and uses their initiative. All of this is listed in his skills and attributes section. So, excellent IT skills, all of it. So you've got to match your CV. Now you can't lie, of course, because they might find you out in the next week or so, and you're not up to scratch with the job. You will be on probation in a lot of jobs. So it is really important to, of course, be honest, but you should be matching your CV to the jobs that you're applying for. It's so important, and that goes from the top to the bottom of the CV. Okay, let's have a look at some top tips. So you don't want to use funky fonts on your CV. For example, the one like this above. You want to make sure that the fonts are like Arial or Times New Roman, fonts that are just quite, just normal fonts that look professional. Just have a look at the fonts on Word and think, does this look professional? Does this look a bit too animated? If it does look too animated, don't use it. Make sure that you use a professional looking font, one that's easy to read and that looks professional. Ones that you would see, for example, on a bank statement or maybe on a hospital letter, for example, something that looks professional and that will stand out. Another important thing as well is that you have to make sure that your CV is not a generic CV. I've seen it so many times where somebody will send a CV out and they've forgotten to change the overview. So they might have applied for an administration role and they've left it in at the top saying that they're looking to be an administrator, and then they've used that same CV to apply for an IT role. Now that is a really bad error, and employers and recruiters will pick up on that. And it doesn't look professional. It looks rushed. It looks like you've just put out any CV to the employer or the recruiter. So make sure that you change your overview and make sure that it's tailored to that role that you're applying for, because you don't want to send an admin role working in a call center to a company that deals with tech software, so to speak, for it as an example. So make sure that you tailor your CV and make sure that you don't just send out the same CVs. Now, I would say that it can become tedious applying for roles, and it can be quite draining mentally, and sometimes even physically. So make sure that when you are searching, job searching, make sure that you get up early, make sure that you have a good breakfast, but also make sure that you tailor that CV and that you spend time on applying for each job. Now, you might spend 10-15 minutes on one job and you might spend 10-15 minutes sending out 20 CVs. But are you going to get the same response from a generic CV, or are you going to get a response by using keywords, like I've mentioned previously, that will help you, be searchable on the job boards, but also it will help you more likely get an interview. Above, I've just popped up an example of something that we call boolean searches. So this is something that recruiters and employers use. So, for example, if you work in a recruitment agency and you're looking for the right candidate for one of their clients, which is the employer, what they would do is carry out a Boolean search. Now, there's different ways that you can do this. So what they would do is use keywords in the search bar of job boards like Indeed, Reed, Monster, CV Library, etc. And they will put in these keywords. So, for example, sales and marketing, they will put sales and then they'll put and in capitals marketing. So, for example, if they're looking for a sales and marketing manager, they would put sales and then in capitals and marketing. And that would go through the database of CVs on the job boards and it will find the relevant person for this job. So you'll get a lot of results from sales and marketing managers or people that work within the sales and marketing sector. Or is another keyword as well in capital letters. So, for example, they will put sales or marketing. So this will retrieve any CVs containing the keywords sales or marketing. So this is very important. So when you're doing your CV, put in all the keywords that are required. So, always state sales and marketing throughout the CV if you are in the sales and marketing sector, because what will happen is it's just like doing a Google search. They will search for your CV and whatever keywords that you put up, it will come up in the job board search. So it's very, very important to make sure that you use these type of keywords. So a lot of people don't realize that, and sometimes your CV might be at the bottom of the pile on these job boards. And the reason why is because there's not enough keywords in your CV. So make sure that you use the Boolean search just as much as what the employers or the recruiters would do, and it might help you with better results. So above is an example of a Boolean search. Let's just have a look here. So I'm still on that example of the job that I showed you before. So remember, it's in the children's services sector and they're looking for a manager and it's in Hampton. So what they've done here is they've put children's services and in capital letters manager, and they've put the area Hampton. Hi there, my name's Renel from the Youth Hub. So we are looking to partner with youth organisations that are holding events for the youth. So it could be workshops, it could be events. So if this is something that you're interested in doing, please get in touch with me. My email address is info@theyouthhub.co.uk and our website is www.theyouthhub.co.uk. You can also catch us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter and Facebook at the Youth Hub UK. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.